Good morning. This is Daily Devotional with Red Moon Eagle. This is a banked video, so I have no idea what time of year it is. I have no idea what day this will find you. I film these and I use these for when I'm busy or I wanted to post and I am unavailable or whatever comes up. Are you gonna sit with me, Astra? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna start with sacred self-care. Number 10, clear your energy field. The mantra is, my energy is clear, my mind is clear, and my heart is full of love. It's the same way that we need to clean our house and homes, we need to clean our energy fields. Through energy clearing, we can remove blocks, leaks, and entities or spirits that have attached to us. This process also helps us free ourselves from emotions or stories that others have implanted within us that are no longer serving us. The journal prompt for today is, when do you struggle to maintain clear energy? So I want to point out with clearing space that there are things that we collect. We collect attachments, we collect energy from places, we collect emotions, and it's not just in our field, but we also hold them in our body. So when you're clearing your space, when you're clearing the energy field, that's why in indigenous cultures in the United States, they use sage, but you can also use cedar. If you want to lean into Western European, you can burn a little bit of mullein leaf or frankincense, copal, myrrh, dragon's blood. I've actually known people who have ground up fresh cinnamon and clove and use that to smudge their space. There are many plant medicines that do different things, but if you're wanting to be honoring of indigenous cultures in the North American area, you can lean into European ancestry, or you can lean into South African ancestry. You can lean into whatever tools help you to cleanse your energy space. Your ancestral connections are really important, and clearing your space means you are honoring your ancestors as well. You're honoring your connection to them in this world. Okay, Egyptian Gods Oracle. Nephti, meditation. Wife of Seth and younger sister of Isis, goddess of the underworld and death in general. Her name means Lady of the House, which indicates that she is the Lady of the Temple, with reverence to her priestly functions. She represents the access road to sanctuaries and horizon. Nephti protects humans and their souls in the moment of passing away. Obstacles, losses, or painful events may arise unexpectedly and irreversibly. Learn that through reflection, everything can be fully transformed and developed. Your ability to continue to rise up depends only on your own conscience. I love that. Nephti, meditation. Lady of the House. The access road to sanctuaries and the horizon. Oh, I love this. Learn through reflection, everything can be fully transformed, developed, and transmuted. I love that. Okay, Animal Spirit Guidebook. Our animal today is the stingray. Developing confidence, sense of self or spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between old, which is easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, which is challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. When in balance, eager, wants to grow. When out of balance, blames others and quits. To bring into balance, move through the discomfort. Stingray is a really powerful card. We're going to go into that here in a little bit. But I wanted to get to the Mystic Shaman Oracle. And that card number is 54, the Sweat Lodge. The Sweat Lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated on a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red-hot stones to sweat away old habits, beliefs, and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of the mother, you are offered second chances. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. The medicine of this card: life is offering you a second chance. Take it. Since this chance may not come your way again for a while, Mother Earth is calling you into her womb, inviting you to incubate as long as you need for spiritual rebirth. Give yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, your seeds of beautiful potential, your shadow, until you come out the other side free, wise, and full of creativity. Isn't that beautiful? I love that, the Sweat Lodge. Okay, so there's a couple things in the Egyptian oracle. The card was Lady of the House. She is the wife of Seth and the younger sister of Isis. She represents the access road to sanctuaries and the horizon. She protects human and their souls in the moment of passing away. Obstacles, losses, and painful events may rise unexpectedly. Lean and learn that through reflection, everything's transformed. Your ability to continue to rise up depends only on your own conscience. This card definitely is saying, hey, lean into the new thing, lean into the growth. You'll be fine. I will guide your way. Transform. I will help you transform. The stingray is all about developing confidence, the pivotal point in your personal growth. No matter what choice is made, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the easy and comfortable and familiar and the challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Developing a spine, developing a sense of purpose, developing who you are as an individual in this world also means the Sweat Lodge. The journey inward to the dark and hidden places that everybody is uncomfortable with. Either you're ashamed of your thoughts or your inner emotional turmoil or whatever it is that's going on with you. Maybe you're terrified that it's big and scary and you're not the good person you think you are, or disappointment that somehow you can't be as good as what everybody around you thinks you can be, or nobody can honor you for the things that you bring into a space. Whatever the undercurrent is, the shadow journey is the Mother Earth is calling you to her womb and inviting you to incubate as long as you need for your spiritual rebirth. The power of this card is sitting in complete darkness, the red hot stones and the sweat. You're sweating away old habits, old beliefs. You're healing. You're returning to the womb of the mother. And one of the things that I've always loved about one of the things that I've worked on with shadow work with the pagan community over the decades is that shadow work is integral to that religious perspective, that philosophical way of life. And it is not part of the Christian modality, as far as I've been able to see. And I've done a lot of research on that. And the shadow is the journey through all of the emotions in the body and releasing generations of trauma, your trauma, anything that comes at you that seems negative and heavy and awful and shameful and terrifying and disappointing. All of those things have the ability to be released through journeying through them. The shadow work is not this other thing that you bucket over in this container over here on the side. It is a journey through it. You have to drink of your own shadow. You have to allow your own shadow to wake up and release. And that is through body movement. That is through sound. I have a whole exercise of sound. Yes, Astra. I have a whole set of exercises that I work people through to help open up and release that sound, and tapping. And I love this. This is like actually the one that if I can get somebody to do it on my back, cupping and tapping on my back up and down, it just feels so good. I do this one on my front. I do it on my arms. You know, there's a release that happens. And when you're able to journey through the shadow, you release all those shadows in your body and you feel lighter, and yet you feel more connected. You have the capacity to hold more things that come at you, but you have to go through the shadow. You have to go through the journey. You can't just compartmentalize it and mind it. You can't mind the shadow. The shadow is through the wheel, body, mind, spirit, emotion. It is the journey. You journey through the shadow and the light. And it's very much like that circle 8 pattern. So it's shadow and then light, shadow and then light, shadow and light. Very much like the yin yang symbol, where it's shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow, light. They're all interconnected. And today's card, the Sweat Lodge, is about going to the womb of the earth to experience that and experience that healing. And you can think of the womb of the earth in another way. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Sweat Lodge in literal senses. It could be that you go into the shadow of the self, because your body holds genetic coding from your ancestors, and our physical bodies are gifts from Earth herself when we as entities come into this Earth realm. Many of us aren't even from here. Many of us are from here. It doesn't matter where you're from as an entity. It really doesn't, in the sense that you still have a human body. I don't care where you're from, out to the stars, pick a place. There's a lot of theories. I don't care in this context. In this context, where you're from does not matter, other than you can't go up and out and work on trauma in the body. It will never work. You will always have problems if you do not embrace your human meat suit. Your human meat suit is important. For all of the spiritual highfalutin experiences that I've had in my life, and I've had a lot, and I've been teaching in this realm a long time, the one part that I knew was integral and important, and I struggled for a really long time figuring out how to really kind of put into words the physical body piece of that emotional connection. And the Body of Nine paradigm, or the words of Body of Nine, let me rephrase that, is ancient. It's hidden in plain sight in our world through indigenous teachings everywhere. And this language is what I'm talking about when I talk about experiencing the shadow and experiencing the connection to the womb of the mother through the body. Each one of these natural numbers has a natural activation point that goes directly from their meat suit to Mother Earth herself. And you have the ability, there is a way to learn it. You can stumble through it just like I did, or you can learn it. There's a way of learning how to activate all the numbers, how to put them together, and really truly activate the depth of that shadow and those depth of emotions that are living in the body, so that you can release them. You can release your trauma, and you can release the generational trauma in your body. It's a real thing. And somatic work goes in that direction. That doesn't talk about Body of Nine. I would love to talk to a somatic worker about Body of Nine, but it does get you there. Vagal nerve work, acupuncture, acupressure, gua sha, all of these tools are pieces of ways to apply to get you to a place where you can feel comfortable in your meat suit to address the shadows and the traumas that are living there. And it is so important. Take a couple of deep breaths. So important that we connect to our body. Charge your water. Charge your food. Breathe deeply. And get moving. Find a way to move. Find a way to tap in to your natural activation in your body so that you can start releasing that shadow. Because the shadow is not a big scary monster under the bed. The shadow is trauma. The shadow is generations of memory. And some of it is beautiful, and some of it is very sad, and some of it is scary, and some of it is joy. And the deeper you go into your ancestral knowing in your own body, the more shadow you can release, and the more capacity you have to do all the things that your self has wanted to do in this life, your purpose, your journey, your blueprint, whatever it is that you chose to come here to do. And we all came here in one sense or another, no matter where you come from in the universe, no matter what body, no matter what family you came in, your gateway to this world, your body holds all of that. And you, no matter where you're from in the universe, whether you're from Earth or you're from the stars, it does not matter. You are responsible for the gift that Mother Earth gave you. And that responsibility starts with your body and your inherited DNA, RNA, trauma response, and memory response. And it is your responsibility to work to release and journey through that shadow in your physical suit so that it cascades to the people around you. And if you are working on you, it sounds really selfish, but I don't mean it that way. When you're working on you, ironically, the beauty of this is that as you shadow, as you journey authentically through your shadow, the wheel starts to move a little faster, and you find more and more connections to those that are working on a similar journey, that are also wanting to have that community connection to heal the world. The more you work on you and you work through that shadow, the more you connect to the people around you. And I know that sounds like a bizarre thing because our Western world says you have to go outside of yourself to work on self. Our Western patriarchal, colonialist, trauma-driven society has it very wrong. If you look at indigenous cultures across the world, so many of them support the healer that helps you work through this shadow of self, work through your own body's trauma. And the community is there to help you, and they connect with you from the outside as you're working, going deep into that darkness. The community is there when you come out of that darkness, when you have journeyed through it, and they say, share with us your journey and let us support you and help you. And there's so many traditions that honor that. The shadow is not a scary thing. It's not the monster under the bed. It is, it can be generations of bias and trauma and internalized biases and internalized shame, fear, disappointment, generations of it. Scientifically, you hold 14 generations in your body to delve into and to work through that shadow. And in some North American traditions, it's 7 generations. You always think 7 generations forward and you make a decision, and 7 generations back. And yet science now tells us it's 14. So think of that. That's pretty amazing. You have the responsibility, no matter who you are as an entity, to make sure you work through the shadows living in your own body, the memories, those core responses you don't even know you're expressing. And it's beautiful because it brings you to the womb of Earth. It brings you to her. Every journey from shadow to light, light to shadow, shadow to light, light to shadow, it all brings you more and more in connection with Earth herself. This beautiful, glorious, harmonic, huge cohesive capacity entity that holds us every day that we are here. Have a beautiful day, my friends, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.